Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast. It's Tuesday, January 17th. Thomas Miller in the Sprinter van, Lord Jupiter, touring Florida. Today is relocation day, so I'm going to be on the road here for a swath of today, moving back over to the... I'm like this Floridian ping pong ball from East Coast to West Coast. I'm leaving the East Coast, headed back to the West Coast, the Gulf side, for the big Tampa RV show that is this weekend. It starts on Wednesday and goes through Sunday. So a couple of days there, a few days with Sean, Brielle, and Canyon. Then I'll cast a horary chart and see where I'm supposed to go next. Hey, we're going to talk kind of about that today. One of the things that I wanted to mention was to be sure, well, we'll do that in a second. Let's talk about the sky overhead. We have an easy peasy day today because basically all we have is a void of course moon that runs from 9:26 a.m. this morning all the way to 12:32 p.m. And then the moon enters Sagittarius. The real juice is obviously tomorrow. We've been talking about it. 18 and 22 still left in our domino trip. Mercury turns retrograde at 8:11 a.m. tomorrow, meaning that today is your last day with Mercury in retrograde. Means that Mercury is at full force, full power, full strength right now, as it is not quite sitting still. Mercury never does, but it's as close to it as it can get. And then you might say, but Thomas, we have to wait until Mercury gets back where it was. In other words, until it clears the shadow period. I got your point. And you know what? In the world of 2023, I'm going to take everything we can get. So let's celebrate Mercury out of retrograde as of 8:11 in the morning Eastern Time. All right, put your thinking caps on. Where is the sun right now? What sign is the sun in other words? Capricorn. And for how long is the sun in Capricorn? Those of you screaming, Friday, Friday, Thomas. Yes, that's correct. So it is in the, later degrees of Capricorn. And what major planet is also in the later degrees of Capricorn? Yes, the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, Pluto, sitting today at 28 degrees 11 minutes, Capricorn. So tomorrow, the sun and Pluto conjoin, which means today they are in very tight conjunction energy. In fact, this is basically the same thing as Mercury going retrograde because this happens at 9:44 tomorrow morning. It's really interesting that we have this because seriously, financial astrologers around the world are going to just be like, oh my, because this is a big one for pivoting markets. Certainly can also pivot our own lives. In other words, moving things out that don't need to be there anymore, bringing new things in, ushering that change, death and rebirth. And you know that death and rebirth cycle is not bad at all. In fact, if you get to the point where you welcome it and embrace it, then it becomes like a spring cleaning in your life. That which no longer serves needs to die. It needs to move on. And that's the symbolism of Pluto. That's the transformative work of Pluto. The sun is all about you. It's your ego. It's yourself. It's your essence of who you are. So this is a time of cleansing. Those two yods we talked about yesterday, well, they were little precursors. Tomorrow is the big one. And to that end, I think an exercise that would be worth your time sometime today is to put the transit chart up over your natal chart and just study it, stare at it, look at it, feel it intuitively. Don't try to think of the placements. Just look there and say, for me, Pluto has just crossed into my 8th house. It's going to be in there for a long time. The 8th house is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn. It's getting ready to move into Aquarius. I am going to have massive transformations around technology, broadcasting, radio, and astrology. I'm going to be using astrology to know what areas need to be transformed. And here's why I'm saying this is so important. Because as I glance at my own chart again this morning, sorry for being personal, but it's the only one I've got. Mars is in the 12th house in Gemini. which I've got a really late degree ascendant. So in the equal house system, Gemini is my rising sign, but it occupies a lot of the 12th house. So here Mars is sitting in the 12th house. Pluto just moved into the 8th. Do you see? I mean, some of you are going, Thomas, you're going to die. Well, we all are at some point. My chart shows that I've still got a lot of work to do. And Mars is saying, what do you need to powerfully complete? Pluto is saying, we're going to spend the next 20 years laying the foundation for your next incarnation. It couldn't be a more beautiful picture of continuing to do the work and the path that I've been on for the last 13 years. And even just recording this now with you, sharing this thought with you, motivates me to be very quick to remove anything that doesn't serve. Because the other thing I have is over the next couple of years, Neptune is moving from the 9th house into the 10th house, which in my chart is ruled by Pisces. So Neptune, spirituality, moving from the 9th house of publishing, and also spirituality is moving into the 10th of career. That's all very timely. So knowing where your planets are by putting up the transits to your natal chart, and then you might want to do it with your secondary progressed chart or your solar arc chart and see where things have progressed forward. But as these big themes of things like the Sun conjuncting Pluto tomorrow come up, know where they are in your chart. What parts of your life are being activated by these energies as they're moving around? Now, if all of this is just a complete foreign language to you, then you might want to take a look at our Fun Astrology 101 course, which is basically an introduction to get you to where everything that I just said makes total sense. So if you're not there, we encourage you to just come to the funastrology.com website. It's right there on the homepage, stays there all the time, self-paced course that will get you fluent in astrology. And we have a great Discord group run by Kristen Lawhead to back you up and support you in the learning journey. All right. Thank you so much for listening today. Great day up in the sky over our head as we anticipate tomorrow. That sets you up. Now you know what the energy is. Go out and live it to your best. See you back tomorrow. Have a great day.